Good day. My name is Pat Sweeney. I'm the Executive Director of the Legacy Center for Leadership and Character. And today we're going to talk about the secrets to shaping culture. We'll always start with the definition of culture. And again, it is the learned patterns, beliefs, values, assumptions, and norms on how we should behave with each other within the organization and with external stakeholders. And the key on this is the learned behavior by the majority of the people. And that's why culture is so hard to change or to reshape. And one of the secrets here is culture is a team sport, and therefore culture change should be a team sport. And the importance of culture, and the first thing is it influences our attitudes and our perceptions of events. It'll impact the way we respond to events and how we make meaning out of our events within the organization. It creates alignment among members. And the most important thing is it'll influence behavior. And that's why it's so important for leaders to really pay attention, focus on their culture, and make sure everybody is guardians of the culture, because it will influence the behaviors of all members. And it provides a competitive advantage. If you can shape a positive culture and people are embracing it, you have a competitive advantage. And when you're going to assess culture, culture exists at three levels. And the first level is artifacts. What do you see, feel, and hear? What's up on the walls in a team or an organization's common space? Let's say, for example, we walk into one of the community healthcare facilities here in Winston-Salem and we see excellent patient care. What we would do then is take that artifact, and we always will move and trace backwards. And so what we would say is that organization probably values excellence in patient care. And sure enough, we go to the Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist cultural commitments, and excellence is one of those cultural commitments. Now, this is an important piece here. Now we have to take another at a deeper level, and we have to go, what is the accepted truth about demonstrating excellence? And in this case, it would be enhancing stakeholders' trust. You get patients that will come back and also give referrals. Second secret of shaping culture, rest at these deeper levels are the assumed truths. So you always want, the way you will assess culture is the assumed truth. The way you communicate the culture is talking about these assumed truths. And this is leader business. Next, what you're going to do is, if you're going to shape culture, you're going to want to kind of lay out and operationalize your culture. So what we would do is, if we're going to go back and do a culture shaping in Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, we'd take each one of their core values. In this case, I took excellence. So this is what the organization's values. Another important step is, what are the behaviors that bring that value into practice at each level of the organization? I just did some general ones here, but you can kind of see is that we engage and we try to exceed standards in all of our duties and responsibilities. We try to give excellence in all of our, demonstrate excellence to all our stakeholders, and we engage in exemplary leadership. What you'd want to do is, and then we would trace each one of those behaviors back to the assumed truths. And again, we already talked about it: fosters stakeholder trust, facilitates mission accomplishment, enhances cooperation and teamwork, and promotes retention. Again, these are the truths. So if we're going to shape culture, what are the new behaviors that we're going to bring, or we're trying to reshape into the organization? And that's another secret regarding culture change. It's about behavior. So what are the new behaviors you want people to embrace and start to engage in? And this is the way you can kind of identify it. It's also a great way to communicate culture if you're onboarding or just to revisit your culture, is take each one of your core values, walk it back. What are the behaviors and what are the assumed truths? And again, this should be done at each level of the team or the organization. Once we identified what are the new behaviors we're going to shape, then we're going to look at starting to shape these behaviors into the team or the organization. And what's important here is that if we're changing culture, you always start with behavior first. I have a very simple ABC model of an attitude here. The C, or cognitions, is just what are our beliefs and thoughts about a particular behavior in doing it, and what are the results of that behavior. And then depending on the amount of cognitions and beliefs, if the majority of them are neutral, then our evaluation of that behavior would be neutral or excellence. If the majority of them were positive, then the evaluation would be positive. Let's say in the example here in Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, they see excellence behavior sometimes. And what they want to do is have consistent, excellent behavior. And again, if we went back and kind of traced it, more than likely is the majority of the people would probably have a somewhat neutral attitude about excellence, and they'll engage in it sometime. So what we want to do is that consistent excellence and exceeding standard in all roles and responsibilities. So that's the new behavior we're trying to shape into it, into the culture. And the key on this is leaders need to link that new behavior to how the team and the individual wins. What are the positive benefits that they're winning on engaging in this new behavior? And each time the team leader engages in it, it starts to add new positive cognitions. And when the majority of those cognitions or beliefs are positive, then that person's attitude will change to positive, and they'll start engaging in consistent, excellent behavior because that's the right thing to do. And this is probably the most important secret of culture change, is that it is a persuasion process. You cannot force somebody to change. You must persuade them, and this is the leader engagement, consistent engagement, linking new behaviors to how the organization and the individual is winning. And it takes patience. You've got to consistently engage in them, consistently engage in them. When the majority of the team or the organization start to believe and have a positive attitude about this new behavior and realize those truths associated with it, then you're going to get culture change. So culture change is a persuasion process. And then the tools we have to shape culture, leaders can use to shape culture. And the most of them, the primary tools are what leaders do. And in this case, if we want to have consistent excellence, we're going to want to measure it. And then in our weekly or monthly meetings, we're going to want to kind of report out. And this could be patient feedback. It could be whoever this behavior is and who's most likely to see it, we'd want to start tracking it. Allocate resources. In the case of excellence, we may want to give spot bonuses or whatever we can do to reinforce that, or even training, allocate monies towards training. And then role model engage. Leaders at all levels must be engaging in the new behavior, role modeling it, and teaching about what it is, talking about why it's important, and the truths behind consistent excellence. And then the other one is recruit, select, and promote. We're going to want to start making sure that anybody we select comes in with this new attitude where they embrace excellence in everything that they do. Promotions, we should make sure people who have a demonstrated track records of excellence. And if somebody's not getting on board and they're not demonstrating excellence, then maybe it's time to invite them off the team. And then the last one is react during crisis. Again, once we're in a high pressure situation, your true value is going to come out. And even in a stressful situation, we're still going to deliver excellence in all of our duties and responsibilities. And then we have some secondary mechanisms that will help us. And again, organizational design may not be there, but the key is which ones apply. Policy, procedures, practice, system, and structure. Maybe we can modify those in order to promote excellence. Maybe we can have a feedback system where people can give ideas on how to continuously improve. How can we enhance and deliver on the mission? And then the other one is formal statements and philosophies. You can ask the leaders in their leadership philosophy to talk about excellence, how important excellence is. And then we want to do rites, rituals, and stories. We want to tell stories about people who are consistently demonstrating excellence and maybe recognize them at the end of the year. These are the excellence heroes, or have some way to symbolize how important excellence is to the culture. And then again, finally, design physical space, facade, or buildings. Is there any way we can change the way we're laid out in order to promote excellence? And this is where the ideas come in. So again, primary, it's the leaders' actions, how they engage, and then we use secondary mechanisms to reinforce it. And then the more of these tools we can apply, the greater the chances are that that new behavior will be embedded into the people, and we'll persuade them that this is the right way to do things. And again, once we get the majority of the people persuaded that this is the right way to do things, we'll have successful culture change.